Hello everybody, and thank you for coming to another nature story time today. If you look around me outside, we finally got snow here in the Driftless, and I am super excited about it. I love winter, and I cannot wait to go skiing later today. So it's finally feeling like winter. We have cold temperatures and a couple inches of snow on the ground, and I couldn't be happier. So for our nature story time today, we're going to be talking about how animals stay warm in winter. And in our story, we have lots of baby animals asking the adults how humans stay warm in winter and if it's the same way that they stay warm. So each animal is going to ask about a different way to stay warm in winter, and that's how that animal stays warm in winter. So you'll see what I'm talking about as we go through our story. At the end, this book has a matching game with it, and I will link to it online. And then I'll also put in some of our winter resources from a previous story time with just different activities you could get outside and do during winter, because it's the best season of all. So without further ado, our story today is called A Warm Winter Tale. We have a little play on words here. It's spelled like tail, as in an animal tail, but we could also tell a tale, T-A-L-E, as in a story. So, maybe tales, this kind, have something to do with our story today. A Warm Winter Tale. It was written by Carrie A. Pearson and illustrated by Christina Wald. You might even catch a glimpse of some animals behind me. My feeders are really busy today. The birds are trying to stay warm and eating lots of food. Here's one of the birds in my yard right now. Chickadees. You can hear them. How do humans keep warm in winter, Mama? Do they wrap their tails tight round their bodies just right, as heaters to chase out the chill? No fur tail for draping, for covering and caping. Their blankets are cotton and wool. So foxes use their tails to help them stay warm in winter. How do humans keep warm in winter? Do they dig in the mud, their skin covered with crud, till sunshine warms up their thick shells? No mud soak that's oozing, no crud cloak for snoozing. Their mud baths must wait until spring. Some of our turtles and our tortoises go down into the mud to stay warm below the frost line, or the mud at the bottoms of lakes or ponds. How do humans keep warm in winter, Mama? Do they fluff up their feathers, whatever the weather, and shiver to make their own heat? Excitement in the bird world behind me. No feathers for fluffing, no down coats for puffing. Their bodies are covered with clothes. So chickadees and other birds can puff up their feathers, and our feathers are really good insulation from cold winter weather. Maybe some of you have jackets with feathers in them, or we call that down, because it's really good at keeping you warm. How do humans keep warm in winter, Mama? Do they eat till they're plump? Go to sleep in a lump and wait for spring breezes to come? No snoring and wheezing while cold winds are teasing. In winter, they're active all day. So bears disappear in the winter. They're hibernating someplace warm, snoozing, relying on their body fat that they built up in the fall. But not humans. We're staying active. How do humans keep warm in winter, Mama? Do they grow hollow hair so the coats that they wear trap the heat from their bodies for warmth? No hair coats for warming when winter is storming. Their jackets have zippers and snaps. So a lot of our mammals might grow a thicker fur coat to help them stay warm, like deer, or maybe you have a dog at home that does that. How do humans stay warm in the winter? Do they live in a bunch, taking turns for their lunch, with queen staying warm at the core? No queen in the center where no one can enter. Those humans don't live in a swarm. So here are bees all living together, the whole hive. They shiver to keep each other warm. The outer bees, the bees on the outside of the swarm, get colder, so they take turns rotating into the middle where it's nice and toasty. How do humans keep warm in winter, Mama? Do they squeeze in a loft, in drays full and soft, to share heat from their bodies with friends? A dray is a squirrel nest. See their image of little squirrels thinking about kids being in a dray with their family. No nuzzling in tree nests with room for a new guest. They can't climb up a frostbitten branch. How do humans stay warm in the winter? Is the sun their bright guide as their wings fly and glide to trees where it's warm all year long? So our monarchs migrate down to Mexico to stay warm during the winter. No flying on strong wings to flee what those winds bring. They wish for the ice and the snow. Maybe not everybody wishes for ice and snow, but I am wishing. How do humans keep warm in the winter, Mama? Do they skitter below through long tunnels of snow to hide from the wind and the cold? So in some of our story times, we've talked about the subnivean layer. So this tunnel system underneath the snow that some of our smaller mammals might live in. No quick toes through snow. They move much too slow. And their boots are too big for that trail. So we call this the subnivean world. All these tunnels and places for our small mammals to hide. And snow is really important. So if we don't get enough snow in the winter, these animals have trouble staying warm, which sounds kind of backwards. How do humans stay warm in the winter? Do their body parts freeze, hidden under some leaves, while winter goes on up above? So some of our frogs make kind of an antifreeze, and they can actually freeze solid and thaw out in the spring. No body that's frozen. That's not how they've chosen to spend their long winters outside. Humans can't freeze. How do humans stay warm in winter, Mama? Do they soar low in the sky, all alone while they fly many miles to a Mexican home? Maybe some people do. No flying through skies, no saying goodbyes. Their arms are not made for that trip. So many of our birds might migrate someplace warmer. Some people do too, or snowbirds, right? Most of us don't. How do animals stay warm in the winter, Mama? Do they bundle in clothes, wrapping scarves round their nose, and pull up their boots and their gloves? So now we found out how we stay warm in winter. No covering with clothes, no buttons or bows. Their bodies know how to stay warm. So we see another way that we stay warm in winter. I see a couple things in here. They have a nice fireplace going. They look warm and cozy in their house. They have some blankets, a cup of maybe hot chocolate there, keeping them warm. So we stay warm a little bit different than the animals do. And animals stay warm in a lot of different ways that we covered in this book. So I will post this online, and it has a bunch more information about how animals stay warm, how different animals might stay warm, some of the strategies they use. And then it also has a winter animal matching game. So it gives you a little description of how an animal stays warm, and then you have to match it to one of the animals on the side, and the answers are down below too. So I'll post a link to that, and like I said, as well as some a resource sheet with just a bunch of outdoor winter activities. It is my absolute favorite time of year to get outside. So if you bundle up and add enough layers, you don't have to be showing any skin, right? Just your eyes could be showing, or you could even be wearing goggles. And get outside, get active. We use a lot of body heat when we're moving through snow. So now that we have snow on the ground, it gets a little harder to walk. We're working a little harder. If you get out there and ski or snowshoe or ice skate, you might even get sweaty. You get so warm being outside. So get outside this winter, explore someplace new, look for animal tracks or animals that are staying warm in winter too. See if you can see any of the things that this book talked about. See if you find any animals doing those things. And we'll see you again soon for another story time. Bye-bye.